Hello and welcome to my 25-26 championship predictions. Who do I think will be going up, getting the playoffs and getting relegated, of course, and who will be in between in those mid-table places. I'm sorry, I've had to cancel the watch along for tonight. The Mac or computer, whatever it is, has completely died on me. So unfortunately, there'll be no watch along for a week or two now, depending, as I'm away next weekend as well. So yeah, let's just dive straight into my 25-26 championship predictions. Into 24th spot, and you would probably have guessed it, and I have got Sheffield Wednesday, of course. I did have them surviving in my very, very early championship predictions for this season, but since they've lost Danny Rowe, they've lost a few players, the Chansiri issues that are going on and off the pitch. It's not nice to see, is it, for Sheffield Wednesday? And there is only one way they are going, and that is to League One this season. They might still get a point deduction. We don't know about that just yet. So yeah, that is why I've got Sheffield Wednesday in 24th spot. They're in a lot of bother. Are they down there? So yeah, they've lost Josh Windass and they've lost Max Lowe. I think a few others are going to be departing as well through the door. So yeah, Sheffield Wednesday in bottom spot. And yeah, you've probably seen that one coming for quite a while. And yeah, 24th spot is my Sheffield Wednesday. Who is going to be their manager and who is going to be their owner halfway through the season? Who only knows? But yeah, bottom of the league, Sheffield Wednesday. Into 23rd spot, and I have got Sergej Jakirovic's side in Hull City. It might not come as a surprise that I've got Hull City down this low. They're similar to Watford. They try and run a foreign team or try and make a foreign team in an English country. I don't think that really works. And after last season, and sacking Ruben Sellers, which is a diabolical decision, similar to what they did with Liam Rossini, it has been all backwards since Hull. For Hull since then. They've signed Puerta from Bayer Leverkusen, who's a young prospect, and that is not a bad signing. They've also brought in Lalawi from Rabat. They've brought in Ajayi for Maywood, Dylan Phillips. They have made some decent signings, but I just think they are going to really struggle this season, in my opinion. They have let go of Sean McLaughlin, one of their experienced centre-backs, to Blackburn for $575k. Xavier Simons, who was a young prospect coming through the academy, he's gone to Bolton. And they've let Marvin Mehalem go for $500k. Not sure that really is going to dampen their spirits that much. But yeah, they've lost a few players. It's going to be difficult for the new manager to come in and bounce back. So yeah, that is why I've got Hull City in 23rd spot and going down, just with the ownership issues and the manager. They'll probably change him halfway through the season like they have with their other managers the past few seasons. So yeah, 23rd spot, Hull City. Into 22nd, and I have got Charlton. I'm probably going to get slated in the comments by a few Charlton fans now. They've brought in Charlie Kelman on a permanent from QPR, and he actually played for Leyton Orient. I don't know why I'm saying on a permanent, like he was on loan there last season, but they have brought him in. They've brought in Rob Apter from Blackpool, Alafi for 1.75 million from Stockport, Thomas Kaminski from Luton Town, Rankin Costello from Blackburn, Amari Bell from Luton as well, and Sonny Carey as well from Blackpool as well. They're signing good players in League One and a few players in the Championship, but I don't think that's really going to be enough for Charlton Athletic and Nathan Jones this season. Good manager at this level, proven before with Luton Town, of course, but yeah, what he did at Stoke and at Southampton should also be taken into account because he did dreadful jobs there. So yeah, I've got Charlton Athletic also go down in 22nd spot, and that final relegation spot is theirs. And yeah, I do see them struggling, to be honest, under Nathan Jones this season. So yeah, 22nd spot, Charlton Athletic. 21st spot, and that is Stoke City. I'm not really kept up to date with what Stoke have done this transfer window, but this is a big season for Mark Robins and his side. Mark Robins is yet to prove himself as Stoke City manager. Did it before with Coventry and has been very good beforehand as well. I think Stoke have done a bit of business themselves. They've brought in a few players. I can check that quickly. But yeah, I think Mark Robins' side will be... I think they'll just survive in 21st, and that is why I have got them down there. I did have them in the relegation spot in my very early predictions, of course, but yeah, I do think Stoke City will be in a bit of trouble and will be in a dogfight this year, as they have been. They've brought in Talarov from Plymouth, Aaron Cresswell on free transfers, a decent signing, Sorba Thomas. So yeah, they've not really done a lot, but yeah, Stoke City are 21st spot, and I have just surviving. And then into 20th spot, we have Oxford United and Gary Rowett. Oxford done a bit of business, not really a lot. They brought in Luke Harris on loan from Fulham, Brady Spencer at right back from Huddersfield, and De Keersmaker, I think we have already talked about in our transfer roundup beforehand when we did that video. A few departures, Josh McEachran, they're not really going to lose him, or he won't be a big loss. Ruben Rodriguez could be a big loss. He's gone to Vitória in Brazil. Mizuni's gone to Leyton Orient in League One. So yeah, Gary Rowett, he knows this league. That's why I've got Oxford United staying up. And yeah, I think they will be good to go this season, will Oxford United. And yeah, I think Gary Rowett's a brilliant coach at this level, and he can keep Oxford United up in this league as he did last season when they were bottom. So yeah, in 20th spot, I've got Oxford United and Gary Rowett. Into 19th, and I bumped them down a little bit from my very early predictions from the Championship, and that is Queen's Park Rangers. I've got down in 19th. I don't think I rate their coach Julian Stephan in charge. French manager won't know the league. Yes, they've brought in Poku on a free transfer. They've brought in Mbeng from Reading on a free transfer. Two very good players. Same with Roman Burrell from Burton. They've brought in a good set of League One players from this level. They've also brought Keely Adamson in from MacArthur. So yeah, I do think QPR will be safe this season. It'd be just another season, a bit of doom and gloom for them QPR fans, as when Michael Beale was in charge, he was doing a great job and had them top of the league, and then it's all gone downhill since with the Ainsworth problems, and then Cifuentes tried to rescue them. It didn't really work out. He was around the mid-table mark. So yeah, QPR in 19th and just surviving, in my opinion. And yeah, I think they've also lost Charlie Cowan, but he was on loan anyway last season. Morgan Fox, Lucas Anderson, Jack Colback have all been released. So yeah, QPR in 19th. Let me know, QPR fans, if you think you will be higher than that this season. I'm sure you will do. So yeah, QPR in 19th spot. Into 18th, and it is Paul Heckingbottom's Preston North End. I do reckon Preston will struggle this season, but they've got the experienced coach in Paul Heckingbottom. He's managed in this league with Sheffield United before and has got them out of this league as well. So yeah, I think Preston will be okay. They've brought in Adeluga Afire from Brighton for 1.6 million. Also Daniel Iverson on a free transfer, Jordan Thompson on a free transfer, Thierry Small on a free transfer, Vic Servic on a free transfer, Valentin on a free. I'm just going to stop because Michael Smith as well from Sheffield Wednesday, who was the other player that I forgot to remember when mentioning Sheffield Wednesday. But yeah, Preston in 18th. Paul Heckingbottom knows this league. Preston haven't really had the financial backing this season. A lot of free transfers have been signed. But yeah, they have lost Emil Rees, Freddie Woodman, Ryan Ledson. They are key players for them in this league as well. Keane Best has gone to Chelsea under 21s as well, which is a big loss. At Ched Evans at 36 as well, wasn't really getting in the first team though. So yeah, Preston North End experience in Paul Heckingbottom will keep them up this season. If they didn't have him in charge, I could definitely see them getting relegated. So yeah, 18th, Preston North End. 17th, I have got John Massinio and Pompey. They did well to survive last season. They've done a bit of business as well themselves. They've brought in Mark Kosnowski. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that already. Well, I just did. They've also brought in John Swift, very intelligent player, very good player at this level from West Bromwich Albion via a free transfer. They've also brought in Luke LaRue, Sergicic, Bianchini as well, and Harry Clout. So yeah, Pompey, I think will be all right and okay this season. They've also haven't lost many players. They've only lost Yengi, Lowry, Scully, and they weren't even playing last season. They have lost Riley Tyler to Lincoln, I think, and Sadie, who was also playing last season as well. So yeah, Portsmouth will be looking to survive again under John Massinio. I think their home field will play a massive part this season, as it did last season, and I think Portsmouth can stay up in the Championship for another year quite comfortably, similarly how they did last season. Yes, so yeah, 17th in for Portsmouth, sorry. And yeah, they'll be looking forward to that South Coast derby with Southampton. Yeah, 17th for Portsmouth. 16th, we have Paolo Pezzolano's Watford. I have bumped them up slightly from my very early predictions, I think, if you remember correctly. They have done a bit of business. They brought in Iran Kunda from Bayern 2. Good young prospect. Marma from Montpellier as well. And the rest are free transfers. Haven't done really a lot. They signed Cipriano from Peterborough and Baxter from Bolton as a goalkeeper. I do think Paolo Pezzolano will struggle in this league, and that's why I've got Watford all the way down in 16th. They probably should have kept hold of Tom cleverly. They have also got rid of Rajovic, who I thought was quite a decent striker. They've Ciarolta, who was experienced at this level and has been at Watford for a few years. That's why I do anticipate Watford to struggle this season. Italian coach hasn't known the league, hasn't been in the league before. So yeah, that's why I've got Watford struggling down in 16th position. And yeah, nothing much else to say apart from the Pozzo family need to go. If you're a Watford fan, I'm sure all those Watford fans will agree with me in the comments. And yeah, I think this is going to be a very tough first season for Paolo Pezzolano and his Watford side. Into 15th place, and I have got Derby County and John Eustace. John Eustace knows what he's doing in this league quite comfortably, really, because he's been to Blackburn, he's been to Birmingham, he knows what he's doing. He got a very poor Birmingham side finishing 18th, and he can definitely get this Derby side playing some decent stuff as well. So yeah, I think Derby will be in 15th spot. I think they've signed Vyman, I think, as well. They're looking at Callum Britton as well. He's just signing all the players he knows, basically, is John Eustace. I wouldn't be surprised if Dion Sanderson goes there by the end of this window as well. But you can't commend John Eustace for doing it. It will get him safe and it will keep Derby County safe and probably even maybe pushing for the playoffs. So yeah, Derby County in 15th spot, comfortably surviving, in my opinion, unlike what it was last season with Paul Warne and then John Eustace coming in at the end of the season. So yeah, John Eustace's Derby into 15th spot here, and yeah, they'll survive comfortably, in my opinion, just because of Eustace ball. Into 14th, and I've got Alex Neil's Millwall. Might come as a bit of a surprise to you because Millwall were quite good towards the back end of last season, weren't they? But yeah, I do anticipate they will struggle, and that was some sort of new manager bounce towards the end of the season. It's just carried on. But yeah, I do think Millwall will struggle a little bit more than usual this season, and I don't think they will really mount a playoff charge, or they might, and then they'll drop off towards 14th spot. Alex Neil is a good coach at this level, as seen last season and as seen at Sunderland beforehand. So yeah, Millwall 14th, not really a lot to say. They've done a bit of business from what I can remember. So yeah, Millwall in 14th. I just don't think they'll be as strong as the likes of Wrexham, who we'll move on to shortly, West Brom, Middlesbrough, Blackburn, all coming up this season. And yeah, Millwall in 14th. It might be a bit of a surprise I put them there, but that's just my opinion. So yeah, Millwall in 14th spot. Let me know where you think they'll finish down in the comments. Now into 13th spot, and this is only because of what they have done recently in the transfer window, and that is Wrexham. I shouldn't really judge teams off what they're doing in the transfer window. Maybe you should. They brought in Lewis O'Brien from Nottingham Forest. I think they tried to get Christian Eriksen in as well, but I think he turned Wrexham down. Kakai from... or Cassere or whatever from Empoli in Serie B. George Thomason from Bolton. Ryan Hardy's also a very good signing. Danny Ward, Josh Windass all going there. So yeah, Wrexham, very, very good business so far. They're not done yet. They're still trying to splash £10 million on a striker from what I've read. They've let go of Sam Dolby, Mark Howard, Bradley Foster and Josh Adam. Not really going to be big losses, those. Paul Mullen's gone on loan to Wigan, as we know. William Boyle has left for Shrewsbury. Luke Bolton has gone as well. So yeah, I do expect Wrexham to spend a bit more in this transfer window. That's why I've got them a little bit higher than what I did in my very, very early predictions for the Championship. So yeah, I've got Wrexham in 13th spot, and yeah, comfortably surviving and comfortably mid-table. Might mount a playoff charge. We'll have to wait and see on that one, though, depending on how much they spend till the transfer window closes. Sorry. So yeah, Wrexham in 13th. Now to slap bang in the middle of the Championship, and I've got Gerhard Struber's Bristol City. Very good season under Liam Manning last time out, but unfortunately coming up trumps in the playoffs to Sheffield United, of course. They have brought Emil Rees and Joe Lumley and Adam Randell, Yu Harikwa from Machida Zelvi in Japan. But that's really all the business they have done so far. They've lost Taylor Gardner-Hickman, who was on loan to Birmingham last season. He is signed there permanently, so that is a bit of a loss. They've also lost Cal Naismith, who was already on loan at Luton. Anyway, But yeah, I do anticipate Bristol City will struggle a little bit this season. Gerhard Struber is an okay coach for this level. It's either going to go horribly wrong or it's just going to be okay for Bristol City this season, I think personally. And that's why I've got them in 12th in the middle of the Championship and just creeping into that top half. So yeah, Bristol City in 12th. They've also let Naki Wells go to Luton, which is a big loss, even though he was getting on a bit. So yeah, I have got Bristol City in 12th and them just to scrape the top half. Into 11th, and it is Alan Sheehan and his Swansea City side. He did brilliantly after Luke Williams was sacked, and then got the job full-time, of course, and is now managing Swansea City full-time. They've brought in Inusa from Hacken, Gal Braith from Leyton Orient, Bobby Wales as well. Cameron Burgess, also a decent signing, and Ricardo Santos as well from Bolton, so that should be Swansea's back line for this season. I just think they might finish in 11th. I do think Alan Sheehan did a good job at the end of last season and actually had a style of play which most caretaker bosses don't have. So yeah, 11th place for Swansea. I think it'd be just another season of sitting in and around mid-table, if I'm honest. They might go on a little playoff charge halfway through the season, but I very much doubt that could happen. They've let go of Kukaverish to Bratislava for 800k. Harry Darling's gone. That's a big centre-back loss. But apart from that, they haven't really lost anybody. Just a few loans, a few free transfers. But yeah, nobody in their main squad apart from that leaving. So yeah, Swansea City in 11th. And yeah, the traditional mid-table sides I've predicted there. So yeah, Swansea in 11th. Into 10th we go, or into the top 10 we go, and I've got Valerian Ismail's Blackburn. A lot of people have them down around relegation, but I think Valerian Ismail has always done a good job in the Championship, and whether that was with West Brom or with Barnsley, he always had them in and around the top 10. Yes, they haven't spent a lot of Blackburn, but they have brought in Sydney Tavares for 2 million, Dion Deneve, Alibusu and Sean McLaughlin from Hull City, which is a very solid centre-back signing. So yeah, the Venkies, we know Blackburn have a few ownership problems themselves, but that's not to be dealt with. They have let go of Rankin Costello, Tyrese Dolan's big loss to Espanyol, Vyman to Derby, Markinde to Chesterfield, not really a big loss that one. Danny Bath has gone to join John Eustace at Derby, I should say. So yeah, 10th place I've got Blackburn. I do think Valerian Ismail is a good coach. That is why I have Blackburn in 10th. If they didn't have Valerian Ismail in charge, I would put them probably around 15th, 16th, even maybe down in 18th or 19th. But yeah, I think Blackburn will be actually all right this season. I think a lot of people are underestimating them. Let me know down in the comments where you think Blackburn will finish. Am I overestimating them, or are they really going to struggle this season? So yeah, Blackburn in 10th spot for me. Into 9th, and I have got Rob Edwards and his Middlesbrough side. They've not really done a lot apart from bring Abdoulaye Kante through the door and Alfie Jones through the door from Troyes and Hull City respectively. But Rob Edwards, I think this is a massive breakthrough job for him. Seeing what happened at Luton, got them relegated, didn't he? Twice, pretty much. But I think they did okay in the Premier League. So we'll have to see what goes on there. We'll have to see, monitor closely what Luton and Rob Edwards do in their separate worlds, of course, as Rob Edwards is now Middlesbrough coach. Can he get them in the playoffs, and can he get them promoted like he did Luton a few seasons ago now? I do think Middlesbrough will struggle this season, but yeah, I still think they'll be in and around the playoffs because their squad is more than capable of doing that. They have lost Josh Coburn for apparently a reported $6 million fee to Millwall, which is quite a big fee. He's one of their youngsters, of course, so obviously they have to sell him on for a big amount. They've also lost Dyke. Still, Johnny Howson's retired, I think, as well. So yeah, that's why I've got Middlesbrough in 9th. A big season for Rob Edwards, but yeah, if it goes horribly wrong, I'm sure they'll be quick to sack him early doors. So yeah, Middlesbrough in 9th place. Into 8th, and I have got West Bromwich Albion. They're one of those teams that always simmer around the playoffs and just kind of sit there not really doing anything. They have brought in Hegbel from Brand for 5 million. Nat Phillips is a decent signing, and then George Campbell for 1 million as well. They have let go of John Swift, Semi Ajayi, a few of their experienced heads in the team. Brian Mason, unexperienced coach, we'll have to see and wait how he does. For West Bromwich Albion this season, it's a bit of an unknown. I personally don't rate him as a coach from what I've seen at Spurs, but that is at Tottenham, so we'll have to give him the benefit of the doubt. Not really a lot to talk on about West Bromwich Albion. I just think they'll be in and around the playoffs, maybe fighting in and around there, and maybe even getting in there. In like around Christmas time, maybe. They've also let Grady Dean Garner go here. I think he's still without a club, so if any Championship sides want to snap him up, please do. Birmingham, please do. But yeah, West Brom in 8th. Not really a lot to say apart from Brian Mason is the new coach there, and I don't really rate him. But do let me know, Baggies fans, down below where you think you will finish for the upcoming season. So yeah, I've got West Bromwich Albion in 8th place. Into 7th spot we go, and I've got Liam Manning and Norwich City just narrowly missing out on the playoffs, just because I think there's better teams in this league, quite frankly, and Norwich City, I think, will just narrowly miss out. Liam Manning is a very good coach. He did it last year, as proven with Bristol City, of course, and Norwich have a better squad than Bristol City, in my opinion. No disrespect, Bristol City fans, but they do. The business they have done so far, they brought in Kvistgaard for 8 million from Bromby, 23-year-old youngster. Papa Amadou Diallo from Metz as well for 5 million. Jacob Wright from the under-21s of Manchester City. Govacevic from Sporting Lisbon as well. Jakov Medic in there as well from Ajax. Harry Darling, of course, very good signing. Jeffrey Schlupp's also a very good signing. So yeah, Liam Manning has a lot to work with. I think Jonathan Rowe has left for 14 million for Marseille. He was on the loan there last season. So yeah, that is a big loss. But they weren't without him last season. Ono Hernandez, Angus Gunn have both been released. So yeah, Norwich City in 7th and just missing out on the playoffs. Let me know where you think you will finish, Norwich City fans, down in the comments. And if 7th is about right, you probably think you'll be getting in the playoffs, which I could definitely see. But yeah, Norwich in 7th and narrowly missing out on the playoffs. Into the playoffs we go, and I have Coventry City in at 6th spot. They have done a bit of business of signed Kessler Hayden from Aston Villa for £4 million. They've also brought Miguel Angel Brau from free transfer from Granada. Carl Rushworth is also on loan from Brighton, so that is a decent goalkeeper signing for Coventry City. They have let Lewis Binks go to Bromby for £3 million. They've also let Jamie Patterson go, Jack Burrows, Fabio Tavares, and Ryan Howley. I think Fabio Tavares was on loan at Burton last season. So yeah, Frank Lampard has done it before in the Championship. He got teams into the playoffs, Derby and Coventry last season. Yes, he's missed out on both occasions on the Premier League. But yeah, I've got Coventry City in 6th spot here. So yeah, that's why I've got Coventry, just Frank Lampard's experience and Coventry's know-how of getting in the playoffs. They might have a poor start, as they always do. But yeah, I've got Coventry City in 6th spot and just missing out on those playoff places. Missing out, what am I talking about? In the playoff places in 6th spot, of course. So yeah, Coventry City in 6th spot. Not really anything else to say apart from that. So yeah, Coventry in 6th. Into 5th we go, and it's Leicester City. I still anticipate Leicester City will get a points deduction in this league, just because of the financial issues they have. They've brought nobody in. They've not really let anybody go either. So it's basically the exact same squad as last season, apart from there is no Jamie Vardy, of course. I think Leicester will be okay. If they get a points deduction, then they will finish where I've predicted them to finish, in 5th. And Sheffield Wednesday is a very good coach, mind you. And if they don't, I think they could definitely finish top 2 autos, maybe even win the league, who knows. But yeah, Leicester City in 5th spot for me. I think they will be in the playoffs, and they will be playing 4th. You can probably guess who I've got in 4th spot, as it's not really changed from my very early predictions from earlier on in the summer. So yeah, in 5th spot, I do have Leicester City, and yeah, let's go to 4th spot right now. Into 4th, and you probably guessed it, it is my team, Birmingham City. Just because of the business we've done so far this summer, Damari Gray, Fujimoto, Furiashi. Who else? Tommy Doyle's an excellent signing from Wolves on loan as well. Let all the not very good players go. Bailey Pickett-Farrell's gone to Blackpool, as well as Emil Hansen has earlier today. So yeah, not really many outgoings as of yet. But yeah, I think Mark Leonard might be rumoured to leave. Alfie Mays also left. There are a few outgoings, actually, I can remember now. So yeah, 4th place. Kind of expected, to be honest. I think yeah, Birmingham will be quite comfortable and will sit nicely in the playoffs this season, as I think there are a few weaker sides than them in this league, and Chris Davies is a top coach at the, well, in where he was in League One, so I assume he can do the same in the Championship and adapt his playing style, which was very, very good and effective in League One last season, but that is expected with the money we spent in that league. So yeah, 4th spot is Birmingham City, and the top 3, you probably guessed which order, but yeah, let's move into my top 3 for this season's Championship 25-26. Into 3rd spot, and I've got Ruben Selles and Sheffield United. This might be a bit bold, as Sheffield United might not be as ready for this season with no Chris Wilder in charge, of course, but they have done a bit of business. They've brought in Ukaki from Plovdiv, Polengdav, 18-year-old from Bulgaria as well, 600k. They've also brought in Louis Barry, which is probably their main signing, as well as Tyler Bindon, who was on loan at Reading last season. So yeah, Sheffield United, this is probably a bit of a bold prediction, but in 3rd spot, I definitely can see them doing that. But yeah, I think Sheffield United personally could struggle, but I have gone bold, and I think they will get into the top 3 in the Championship this season. But yeah, there's been a few outgoings as well. Vinicius Sousa's gone to Wolfsburg for 50 million. They do have money to spend, and I am anticipating them to spend it. That is partly why I've put them up in 3rd position. No Ryan Brewster, he's a free agent now and has been released by Sheffield United. So yeah, Sheffield United in 3rd position for this year's Sky Bet Championship for my predictions in 25-26. Let's move into the automatic spots. Into 2nd spot, and you probably guessed it, it is Will Still and his Southampton side. Will Still's not managed in this league so far in his career, but he has managed in the French league and has done pretty well over there with Reims and with Lens. They've done a bit of business. They've only brought in 2 players, Southampton. I am still anticipating a bit more business to come from the Saints this window. Damien Downs through the door for £8 million, and Joshua Kwashi coming through as well from Hoffenheim, one of the quickest centre-backs in the German league. Is he the replacement for Armel Bella-Kotchup, who I think has left the Saints Southampton this summer. Kamaldou Sulemana has left Jan Bednarek, Amaroyo Onuachu. Walker Peters has gone to West Ham. Lumley's left as well. So yeah, a few outgoings, and Lanana has retired. A few outgoings at Southampton this summer, which is quite a lot. So yeah, they have to rebuild really and get a few more players through the door. Southampton maybe 2nd is a bit optimistic, a bit like the Sheffield United prediction. So yeah, that is why I've got Southampton up in 2nd. I still do anticipate a bit more business to come from them in the summer. This summer, before the January summer transfer window closes by the end of this season. So yeah, Southampton into 2nd spot, and you've probably guessed my champions. Well, there's only one team left for you to guess, so let's just move into my champions right now. 1st spot is Ipswich Town and Kieran McKenna. He's done it before, he'll do it again. Ipswich Town will be league winners quite comfortably, I think, and it will be back to the Premier League for them at the first time of asking, similar to what I think will happen to Southampton, probably Leicester as well, as they might win the playoffs. It'd be between them and Birmingham, I believe, if them two play off in a playoff semi-final, from what my predictions show anyway. So yeah, I think Ipswich will bounce back quite comfortably. I don't think they've lost many players apart from Liam Delap, who's gone to Chelsea. Kieran McKenna knows this league. We've talked about that. They've still got some brilliant players, and we know Amari Hutchinson's left, so they might struggle a little bit, but Kieran McKenna is one of the best managers in the league, and he's probably one of the best in the Premier League. That is probably quite a bold statement to say. But yeah, Kieran McKenna, I think, will get Ipswich promoted and back to the Premier League at the first time of asking. They gave it a right go last year, but they just came up trumps, unfortunately. But yeah, Ipswich Town will win the league, and yeah, I'm sure that's what everybody's got in their 25-26 Championship predictions. So yeah, Ipswich Town to win the Championship for 25-26, and that is the completion of my predictions. Let's go to the roundup. A quick roundup of my predictions then. 24th, Sheffield Wednesday. Hull in 23rd, Charlton in 22nd, complete the bottom three. Of course, Stoke City and Oxford just surviving in 20th and 21st spot. 19th, we have Queen's Park Rangers. 18th is Preston North End. 17th is Portsmouth. 16th is Watford. 15th is Derby. And John Eustace. 14th is Alex Neil and Millwall. That might be a bit of an under prediction. Maybe I'll put Millwall too low. Wrexham in 13th, but we expect them to spend a bit more. Bristol City in 12th. Swansea in 11th. Blackburn in 10th. That is a bit of a surprise. Do let me know in the comments where you think your team will finish. Middlesbrough in 9th. West Brom in 8th. Norwich in 7th. Into the playoffs we go. And we've got Coventry, Leicester, Birmingham, Sheffield United, Southampton, and Ipswich and Kieran McKenna to win the league, as we've just previously mentioned. So yeah, that is me done with Championship 25-26 predictions. Let me know your predictions down in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching my Championship 25-26 predictions. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We'll be back with the watch-alongs in a week or two. I am away next weekend though, so there might not be one after that. We will definitely be live for the Premier League, I'm sure. So yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that when watching. I'll speak to you all on the next one.